Now, as players are getting themselves loaded into lobby for that pick ban phase to start, we saw what some of the priority bans were in games 1 and 2 with Allegiance in match number 1. What are you expecting from these two teams, seeing what players they have on their rosters?
Yeah, I feel like Teamy will be a priority. That's something that we see. Always Green not able to play Teamy, so I'd love to see him hopefully get Teamy. It'll give him a nice advantage because he's played a lot of Lumber. He's played a lot of Thane. And again, rushing abilities. He used Thane's ultimate Excalibur too early in the fights and also completely missed the ultimate. So I feel like, you know, Thane isn't a strong hero in Always Green. He's playing a lot of Lumber. So I feel like One Trick is going to secure the Lumber. And on the side of Red here, they're going to ban Superman, they're going to ban Liliana, you know, the obvious first pick power heroes that we see often get taken if they don't get banned.
Teamy, Zenial, Superman, and as the second ban gets weighted down here by One Trick, it's going to be a Murad. Now, Murad, someone that we haven't seen create too much pressure over in Europe, has been a rising star in North America, someone that all of these teams are being very wary of.
The reason why specifically, though, it's banned against Upsla because Flowery's Murad is one of the best in North America. So you guys have not seen it in the Valor series, but I was able to see it and look at his combat history. This guy is a monster on Murad. He's able to win in some key scrims against top teams when he is on this Murad. That's why it's a target ban against him. As Malik is being banned here, we have Max open. We have also... Ooh, what? Eisenkar. I don't think they're going to pick that, but Max, Omen is open. Those are some really good picks along with Ryoma, but they're going to actually go with the Tulin right off the bat.
Tulin being the first lock-in. Now, we've seen Tulin as a priority pick over in Europe. We saw that being first picked in an earlier match today, but now with One Trick having all sorts of options available, it's going to be the Ryoma as well as the Wonder Woman locked in for them as the one.
Yeah, they can pick Omen here. They can also pick Kilgrub, but Omen looks like the best pick along with Max. That's going to counter any kind of ADC pick that One Trick wants to pick. But with Omen not taken here, they can actually run Ryoma jungle and do Omen in the side lane here, and then just basically not play an ADC comp that Max is really good into. So let's see if One Trick's going to opt to do that. They're going to go for the Alice here. The thing that worries me about Alice is a very high skill cap hero, a lot of skill shots, especially her Sunshine and her Hissy Fit ultimates. So Always Green has to make sure he doesn't rush it and places it in perfect timing and position to land these Sunshine stuns. Now, with Alice being picked, an ADC looks really good right here. They need to pick... Oh, actually, they're not. They're going to go with a Kilgroth and a Lumber. So they're going to go with an all-engage into an all-engage here, which I think could work out for them. And Mina being picked here. I like Thane better than Mina into an Alice because Thane offers so much engage potential against an Alice, and there's no front line there except for the Runner Woman. But Duo Spirals on L'Oreal, a good pick into Lubu, a Kilgroth as well.
Interesting lineups for both of these teams. One Trick finding themselves in some comfort picks that we've seen them play before. Now, I want to see how they're going to combat this in the mid lane. When you prioritize a mid laner as your first pick, not only is that an early strategy that you want to create, but is a comfort pick for the mid laner of Upsla. So I'm excited to see how the Tulin Yanni matchup really decides to play out, considering it was at the forefront of that Upsla strategy.
Yeah, that's going to see, I mean, what the key is, One Trick needs to win that early. You know, Alice can provide a little more crowd control with the Sunshine ability that she can stun. So they need to win early, but it's against a Tulin. It's really strong in the mid lane. So mid lane matchup, Upsla won. But jungle and side lane matchup, I feel like Ryoma and Wonder Ring can do a lot of work in that early phase of the game.
Well, we want to go ahead and let you know that we are listening on Twitter. We are listening to what you have to say. Rest, the delightful support, the MVP of the last match, says, "Thank you, Toxic Pigs, for my favorite game of the Valor series thus far." Thank you for those kind words, and we enjoy it as well. It's always good to have a little friendly fun, and when you can have a Pure, a Maganga, and 4 80 carries pop up on a team, it's definitely something to make sure that we keep our eyes on. One Trick have found themselves 90% in favor. Upsla sitting at 10%. So One Trick looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. Remember, they have to win this game or else all is lost for the One Trick chances of getting to E3. Game number 1 of our second quarterfinal here for week number 6 in North America starts now.
Yeah, I do like Tulin and Anigod here because Tulin is a lot easier to land skill shots. And look at that. They're able to predict Upsla in there. Lands a huge Wailing Blade stun into the enemy team. And as a result, both teams are going to back off and not engage. So Anigod, again, on Tulin. I really like because Tulin isn't a very high skill cap hero in terms of landing skill shots because Iron Blast, pretty straightforward. His Blink, pretty straightforward as well. And his ultimate is just click the hero that you want to hit. So I like the Tulin pick on Anigod. I feel like they are able to minimize the skill shotting of Prada that we see Anigod kind of not be as proficient on.
Always Green going to find himself caught out just a little bit. However, the damage is not enough quite yet on Zaxia and Anigod to secure themselves that kill, but it will acquire just enough of a vision. Always Green, just as I say, that gets pulled in by Zaxia. Zelf being able to do a little bit of poke damage, juggling in between that jungle monster as well as the enemy team. Lots of scuffles off the mark thus far. Zaxi will find himself very low. The last tick of damage from Always Green is going to be enough, as it looks like First Blood goes over into the hands of One Trick.
Yeah, they got to be careful there. That was a 4v2 there, and Zaxia just needed to back off. Kind of put himself in out of position, and as a result, they lost the kill. However, One Trick is not converting that to any objective. You know, they can invade the jungle at that point and shut down and take the jungle from Flower, but instead they're just gonna back off and go back to their farming, which I think is a huge miss for One Trick, because when someone dies there, especially at the close to 2-minute mark, you can abuse it and rotate to Sentinel or even set up to starve jungle out and get ahead.
So now, 2 minutes into the game, we can see the Upsla members rotating towards the bottom side of the map, Abyssal Dragon being the ultimate desire of these two teams. Flowery finds himself taking the Seagull. Verche trying to help themselves out to get a little bit of extra vision of this One Trick team. Now, taking a look at this composition and how these first 5 minutes are going to play out, where are you expecting, or how are you expecting this Mina pick in the early stages, early levels play out for their team?
Yeah, Mina can engage on Alice first, can taunt her, can use a death sit to pull her in there, and they can just kill Always Green, honestly, because normally the Alice is going to try to get vision and be overextended slightly, so they need to just get a pick on her. She has no mobility. She has friendship as a way to increase her speed and get out, but look at Flowery there, going in there by himself, which is really dangerous for him.
A little bit too overzealous, but when the team is there to help, you're going to be finding yourself in a much better situation. However, he will end up taking a shield to the dome, as he's going to become fresh fish sushi, as it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Zelf going down as well. One Trick unable to get themselves anything extra. Anigod catches out dual spirals. Always Green and Vey are going to have to be forced to move around the opposite side of the map to safety. And so now with dual spirals down and the spawning just now happening of Zelf, it's going to have to be a Abyssal Dragon. But in the meanwhile, because of the rotation, Bruticus was able to take a tower in the top side.
Yeah, when Max flies across like that, this is why Omen is so good into Max. When he leaves his lane like that, it opens up the tower completely to Omen to easily push the lane and get a tower. And as a result, they trade Dragon for tower, which is not bad for both teams.
Abyssal Dragon has been taken. Now you see Bruticus taking the Spirit Sentinel for the side of One Trick. 7.5 thousand gold, 200 gold separate these two teams, as it looks like we are seeing a much closer match. Actually, no, as close as we were anticipating. We knew that this was going to be an all against the wall. Both of these teams putting pedal to the metal, as we have yet another scuffle in the bottom side of the map. Vey being forced to pop his ultimate to try to get himself to safety. Verche and Bruticus are trying to get themselves a little bit of a fight. Bruticus does have the advantage of levels, but when you have the teammate to help, you're going to be much happier all the same. Dual Spirals does not end up picking up that kill. They walk away safely, as a nice little reset has happened for both teams.
Yeah, you can see Lubu can hold his own 1v1 versus Omen. It's pretty even for the most part, but Lubu, when he activates his Conqueror, is going to win in that 1v1 damage output and trading there, because ultimate gives him so much sustain, so much magic resistance as well. And look at this rotation by One Trick. 4-man rotation into jungle there.
So now we find ourselves in a situation where Upsla has to make a decision. Where are they going to go, and how are they going to be more proactive? Because as it stands, One Trick has done a fantastic job of reallocating their resources across the various parts of the map, but now it's a reallocation of Upsla into kills. Bruticus and Always Green end up going down. Flowery will fall as well to Zelf, but all the while that is a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Upsla. And with 25 seconds left remaining on the Abyssal Dragon, it looks like they can posture towards that bottom side of the map.
Yeah, that was such an unfortunate face check there for Always Green. Again, Alice is so squishy. Walked into the bush, immediately got CC'd. And look at that, building enchanted kicks. So Alice is going to be more of a backline support here, not a tank. So face checking as Alice is actually super dangerous because of the magic pierce and magic ability damage that you're building on the Alice here. So you got to play more backline. You got to kind of test the bush, hit some sunshine abilities into there and see if the opponent is going to respond.
So now we find Zaxia in a rough situation, finding herself at below 20% HP. Gonna have to be forced to recall. The upgraded boots being purchased there by God to help him move around the map a little bit. Max, an individual that we haven't seen yet really much at all today here in the Valor series, hasn't been able to create his pressure across the map, but as a result now we're finding Abyssal Dragon being taken down by Zelf as the scuffle continues to happen towards the bottom side of the tower. Always Green picks up that kill yet again onto Flower. Andy God being first to back away. He's going to be able to pop his ultimate, but it's not going to matter as God picks the kill up onto Zelf. God will end up using his ultimate to try to get to the back line, but with the tower to defend them, One Trick is going to walk away safely.
Yeah, I like what they did there. They switched Max to the Dragon lane, and Omen is now facing Lubu, and that's such a smart lane trade there. Instead of having the Max get countered by Omen, they put Max in the Dragon side, winning Dragon side of the map, and as a result, getting a nice advantage here. And Omen can't really push a tower against a Lubu because they're, for the most part, even because it's more of a skill matchup. However, that last fight was critical because Kilgrab, Flowery, went in too aggressive. He is trying to go in too aggressive, and as a result, being punished for it so badly. But Upsla is able to turn it around with these engages.
God is going to end up falling. Will he get caught out by One Trick? Unfortunate situation for them. So despite the back and forth, Upsla finding some advantageous positioning in these little scuffles, One Trick has still acquired themselves a 1,500 gold lead at just over the 7-minute mark.
Yeah, this is going to be huge. And now One Trick, they need to abuse it. They need to start shutting down jungle, get more objectives, secure more dragons. It's 1-1 in dragons and 1-1 in towers. However, they have a nice gold lead, which they now need to get some picks, push some more objectives, and just punish Flowery. I mean, just bait Flowery to go in, because Flowery is very trigger-happy in this game. He wants to just go in and fight. Look at it, he's doing the same thing over again right now.
It's a fight, fight, fight mentality for Flowery as him and the rest of his team decide to fight here for One Trick, but numbers advantages in their favor as Andy God finds himself very low. God, in the meanwhile, goes himself into the backside, finds himself way too close under the tower. Not going to be working out in his favor. Dual Spile is able to pick up that kill. Meanwhile, Valor is going to find himself in a rough spot. Two members have fallen for Upsla. The benefit of the tower is there.
Oh, wow.
Dual Spiral's barely coming out with his life, but Upsla not having any sort of coordination on these fights.
Yeah, they got to be careful. I mean, the Max God went in there underneath the tower, under 4 people. Ryoma then stunned him under tower, and he was instantly deleted. However, somehow, Upsla still gets ahead in that fight. And look at Andy God here. He gets outplayed by Dual. However, he is going to be able to secure the kill, and it's a 1-for-1 trade.
The 1-for-1 trade happens. Now, I've got to beg the question because the question needs to be begged, Suijay. We are at almost 9 minutes into this game. As these trades are happening back and forth, assuming that this trend of trading continues, who are you having the advantage in the late game as we see Verche falling there to Vare?
Yeah, what a nice bracelet submission stun there onto Lubu, securing the kill. And now as a result, they're going to rush the Darkslayer. So One Trick, if they get Darkslayer, that's going to give them so much map control over the next minute and a half while that Darkslayer buff is up. Darkslayer
is going to end up going down immediately in favor of One Trick. Flowery finds himself getting caught out yet again. That is not where we want you to be, good sir. You might be a flower, but this is not your pot to grow in. Zaxia will end up falling as well. Always Green, sticking to his name scent as the members of One Trick find themselves in yet again another victory. 3,000 gold in their advantage, but more importantly, Darkslayer in their hands.
I'm trying to understand when Darkslayer is taken, the game tells you the Darkslayer is taken. They still try to face check the bush, check what's going on.
Surprise!
Hey, is the Darkslayer there still? It's just taken, apparently. And as a result, 4v2 with the Darkslayer buff instantly deleted, and this puts them very much more behind. And right now, Upsla isn't playing like they used to. Their momentum is completely lacking now, and they're making some very questionable plays that I feel it's costing them so much in this game.
10 minutes into the game, 5-kill advantage, but more importantly, it's the objectives that have put One Trick ahead and away. 5,000 gold is their advantage, and as we mentioned, this is one of the most, if not, no, this is the most important match thus far of the Valor series for them. One Trick needs to secure this win over Upsla to have an opportunity to get themselves into the top 4, but more importantly, getting themselves the ticket booked to E3 next month.
Yeah, this is so critical. So much on the line, and, you know, the mistakes are going to cost you so much. One mistake, 2 mistakes, it leads to tower, it leads to jungle, it leads to another tower, and as soon as you know it, you're behind almost 6K in gold. That's just significant advantage for One Trick now. And this is going to be very, very hard for Upsla to come back in the game.
Upsla, another member, finds himself caught out yet again. To give you a nice variant on the quote that you just mentioned, Sweet J, it's 1 mistake, 2 mistake, 3 mistake floor, and that's where Upsla is finding themselves right now as One Trick is stampeding all over their efforts. Andy God is able to pick up that kill onto Zelf as well as Bear. And so just as I say that, Upsla makes me eat my words as the double kill comes out for God. The double stun comes out for One Trick. They're going to walk away safely, but they still get themselves a tower on the bot
Yeah,
side.
very nice stuns there by Always Green. He's landing his Alice skill shots really well there, stunning at the right moment, and as a result, able to save his team and escape there. But that was a very decisive engage by Upsla. They need to do exactly what they just did here. Even with the Darkslayer buff, they won that fight and was able to take down one member of One Trick. If they continue to fight this way, there's a lot of hope for this team to come back in this game alive.
Verche is able to pick up that kill onto Always Green. They're able to take a tower in the mid side as well. Dual Spirals finds himself in a rough spot, so he's going to have to be forced to back away. Bruticus as well, as he finds himself behind 20% HP. 5 members are in the middle of the map. They do not have a minion wave, but Upsla finding themselves a little bit of life blown back into their sails as they find themselves still down, however, 3,500 gold to One Trick.
Yeah, this is a nice play, though. They're able to take jungle. They're able to close that gold deficit from 6,000 to 3,000. So this is not what One Trick wants here. And now what Upsla needs to do is just get it nice engaged. It needs just need to fight together. Exactly what they did at the tier 3 or high ground tower at top lane. What they did there was huge. Not going alone. Flowery, back off. Stop going in alone as Kilgrod. Trying to be the solo hero and instead becomes the martyr. So they got to be careful. As long as they fight together and they combo their abilities, they have a really good chance because the key is Mina's ultimate. They need to use that Dark Dominion to bait and taunt and then kill the heroes that are stuck onto Mina because of that taunt. And if they can do that, they can turn these fights easily around for them.
13 minutes, Abyssal Dragon has been started here by Upsla, but the members of One Trick are waiting in the wind, hopefully seeing if they can capitalize on a mistake of Upsla. As close as the game is right now, despite the fact that there is a 5,000 gold lead in favor of One Trick. One mistake, Sweet J, one mistake is all it takes from either one of these teams. A bad fight to happen. If multiple members go down, there is enough pushing power on both sides for them to potentially look to end the game. Advantage, however, is in favor of One Trick, as Upsla has only taken 2 towers, none of them being inner towers, and so they're going to have to go through an extra wave of defenses before those high ground towers become a possibility to go down.
Yeah, this is where they need to do some nice rotations here. Play on their tower, protect it, check on the dragon. Looks like they're going to give up a tower, but One Trick is going to take this dragon here. But Upsla gets a tower, so it's a decent trade for both sides. Versa needs to get out here because he's going to be in big trouble.
You're going to have the Abyssal Dragon going down in favor of One Trick, so Bruticus being able to pick that one up. Verche going to have to be very careful as he's going to have to be forced to walk away. But with multiple members on the bottom side of the map, this gives an opportunity for Upsla to push towards the top. They're going to secure themselves that inner tower on the top side, which is going to open up the doors for the high ground here for the top side of One Trick's base. They're going to secure themselves a couple extra little goodies in the jungle that is One Trick's, push up themselves some waves, and wait for the dragon, or for the Dark Slayer that will be spawning in 35 seconds.
Not bad. 2 towers for an Abyssal Dragon and a tower. Mostly an even trade. However, the gold lead is only 3K difference now, and Upsla has a chance to come back in. They cannot underestimate One Trick because obviously One Trick came here to play. He got to be careful here because Omen, with that lockdown ability, they have to save whoever Omen locks down, because if they back off and run away and Omen locks down one of their heroes, Upsla has to fight and counter engage. However, L'Oreal's ultimate is going to do so much damage in this composition because it's mostly a melee composition.
One Trick tries to get themselves a little bit of a cheeky play in the Pixel Brush, but they do just enough to catch up the members of Upsla. This is the moment that One Trick was looking for. It was a catch out, but more importantly, it was a synchronization of the team fights to know when exactly they needed to go in. God does his best to get to the back line, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't have any kind of support. Verche is sitting at 100% HP, but that's because the rest of his team was dead before he had an opportunity to join the fight. And so now, with 4 members down, all 5 left alive for One Trick, as well as a wave pushing in. I don't know if there's anything
that this is going to be
do.
game here, and that was such a bad mistake. They're getting caught out. They have to initiate first with the Mina comp. As a result, they let Mina get focused first, and they just blew Mina up, and now this is going to be One Trick's game. GG to One Trick.
Said it once and I'll say it again. 1 mistake, 2 mistake, 3 mistake floor. One Trick staying true to their logo, stampeded through the Upsla defenses in game number 1 and walk away with a victory, keeping their playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, they definitely came here to play. Team One Trick came here to make a statement that they want to be a part of this top 4. They punished the multiple mistakes from Upsla, kind of underestimating Team One Trick. Again, both teams have momentum, and now One Trick has gained that momentum and upper hand against Upsla.
And so now, as we've seen, it was quite the back and forth throughout the entirety of this match. There were a lot of instances where it's disheartening for Upsla because despite being behind a couple thousand gold, 2,000 gold is an overcomable deficit. This isn't something that they did not have the opportunity to come back on, but it seemed that for every 1 good move that Upsla made, they were making 2 mistakes, and a lot of it revolved around getting caught out.
Yeah, and he got using Max's liftoff ultimate to dive underneath a tower and 4 people, but Upsla still turned that fight around, so it showed that their team fight power is actually better as long as they fight together. But One Trick, always green, played really well in the Alice. He had a lot of great sunshine stuns that locked down some characters and allowed his team to focus that. But Upsla, again, Kilgroth, Flowery going in alone, 1v4, 2v4. He's got to be careful and wait for his team. And I feel like you underestimate One Trick, then you get punished. And that's exactly what happened against Upsla.
What I also want to highlight for One Trick is the fact that we don't get to highlight a lot of teams that have the ability to look for picks in the earlier stages, but the patience to get these picks is exactly what Upsla was able to, or what One Trick was able to do to win themselves this game.
Yeah, this is key here. They land the Sunshine out, they rush in there, another Sun for Yomo comes out, and a perfect Alice ultimate. Zaisha has no chance, has to activate the ultimate because it reduces damage 50%, and then as a result, they are fighting a lost cause. As soon as Zaisha died, they just needed to back off. The fight is over. Just get out. And now Max continues to go in. God goes in for no reason here. There's no reason to go in this point. You're just feeding the enemy team and securing your demise. And that's exactly what Upsla did. The shot calling and the decision making has been very, very questionable for Upsla the entire game. So this is something they definitely need to clean up because their mistakes, 1 mistake, 2 mistakes, 3 mistakes, lose is basically what's happening.
You changed my quote. They went from lose to floor. But they're synonymous in this instance if you take a look at the result of that last game. Now, you say communication and their team fight execution needs to be something that can change. Where does this change? Do you feel that it's something more of maybe a bickering between a team or the lack of a true shot caller to give that final say at the end of the day?
It's just team awareness, mini-map awareness. Why are you going in when your team is not with you and you see 4 people? Flowery just went in. Again, another rotation by Flowery and Zaisha. Checking on Darkslayer. The game tells you Darkslayer is taken. There's no reason to go there. Obviously, your opponents will be there because they literally just took the Darkslayer. Run away. They walk into a 4v2 and get immediately deleted. And as a result, that Darkslayer was very valuable to One Trick because they took 2 kills and additional towers. And from there, it just went downhill.
So now One Trick, despite their macro advantage that they had in map rotations as well as moving as a unit, still found themselves giving up 11 deaths and dragging that game up longer than what I think you and I expected them to go once they established themselves that lead. we know what the problems are for Upsla. What are some ways that One Trick can tighten up the ship a little bit more, prevent from any sort of leakage so they can have smooth sailing in game 2?
Yeah, I think is they need to be more aggressive. I feel like they're kind of passive aggressive. They're engaging and then backing off. Once they need to play exactly how they did that very last fight they won in the game. Alice stun, Ryoma stun, Alice ultimate, a follow-up stun. That's exactly how they want to play. Just combo and focus. And because of their combo and because of their focus, they're winning and getting these nice picks as a result, winning the game.
To the credit of both of these teams, however, it is every fight down to the wire. We're going to see in our second replay that we have for you, these health bars are low, low, low as we have this here in the earlier stages.
Yeah, look at Flower. He's going in by himself there. The team is on him. It's 1v4 at this point. No one is trading damage with him. Alice able to drop her ultimate. Then now they have to back off. And Anti-God is low. If Anti-God is low, you don't want to be aggressive. You want to be careful. And look at that. God coming in there. I don't know what the decision was there or the call, but he goes there and gets killed. But however, they turn this round in front because Anti-God gets a beautiful Ion Blast into the entire enemy team, and then Kilgarth and Zystra gets so much damage on top of that. And then Anti-God is able to do much more damage from the backline, getting that kill on Alice, and as a result, winning that fight because of the AoE damage he did on Tulin.
And so now it has been quite the interesting journey for Upsla and One Trick thus far. Remember, this is the decider match for One Trick. If they want to keep their top 4 playoff hopes alive, they have to win this match against Upsla. Dino Riders being the third variable that you have to consider. Now, Dino Riders having a much safer spot coming in number 3. One Trick's needing themselves to, One Trick needing to secure themselves not only the quarterfinals win, but they also are going to have to get through the semifinals if they want an opportunity to make it to the number 4 slot. But unfortunately, or fortunately in some instances, they have to get through Upsla first. And being up 1-0 and seeing some of these members that we know can step up has certainly helped them thus far.
Yeah, that's definitely the case for One Trick. They got to make it past the semifinals and get enough points because Upsla, they did a good job. They played more consistently over the Valor series. And this is a team that actually got relegated like One Trick and came back and just performed time after time with a few roster updates. And Flowery is the key of that team. I feel like when he does really well and he engages and the team is right behind him, they're a team that just shines. So I think that they need to be more patient. They need to wait for each other, and they need to go in together, because if you can't combo abilities together, that's not team fighting. And I feel like they're 1-2 fighting, and then another 2 show up after the first 2 die, and then 2 more die, and it's a really lost cause after that.
It's a really lost cause. But we've been talking about the 1, 2, 3, 4 mistakes that Upsla unfortunately had. Well, those mistakes might have been a little bit one too many, as one of our players might have to get some water to help himself, get a little bit better. We are waiting on one of those Upsla players. Jokes aside, we don't actually know if he's getting water. Don't hold us to that. But all jokes aside, let's take a look at the hero options that you have for both of these teams. We saw no one performed so well that warranted an immediate target ban, but considering the prioritization explicitly with that Tulin in game number 1, what are we expecting for game 2 now that One Trick is going to find themselves on the blue side?
Yeah, I was very surprised that Flash was not picked, actually. Flash was up, and he could have been a really solid pick into either side of the competition. However, L'Oreal worked really well because, again, Kilgroth, Lubu, she is so good and shines in that matchup because against melee bruisers that are, building a little tanky, L'Oreal really shines because of her Divine Punishment passive. It does true damage, and she can just jump and blink all over any melee hero. And without an ADC on the Upsala side in their composition, L'Oreal just shines in the late game. When we saw that exactly happen, Mina gets caught, even though she's tanky, it doesn't matter. L'Oreal's going to be able to slow her and hit her so much, and they just killed Mina as a front line. I felt like Mina was a bad draft as well. I didn't like the Mina pick. I felt like Thane would have been much better into an Alice composition, and hopefully they're going to change it up and not pick Mina.
Well, it looks like Mina is an option that we have that wants to potentially get taken off the table. Suijay thinks that Flash needs to be something. But what about you? What are you thinking? Make sure you head over to Twitter, use the hashtag Valor Series, because each and every moment we have beautiful people, very beautiful people. I know the beautiful man that's sitting in that back that's looking at your tweets and hoping and praying. Pear Bear wants to see you on on the Valor series, and we do too. So make sure you use the hashtag Valor series and let us know your predictions of the match, as well as everything else that you have to offer. Maybe even an Envirum is watching from wherever he may be in the world. You will see him on Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you worry. So players getting logged in, almost in the lobby. We apologize for the delay, everyone. So now we've covered all the bases. We've covered communication. We've covered hero select. We've covered essentially composition for a lot of these. What about these early game executions for both of these teams as we come into this game?
Yeah, I love how One Trick is camping the bush. You know, they're much more patient, I feel. They're waiting for the team to be together, and they're making plays. One thing that Upsla can punish is Always Green likes to give his team vision, and they were able to get a key gank in the early part of the game when Alice face-checked the bush. So that's what they need to do. They need to abuse the tendency of these players, turn that into forced errors, and then convert that to objectives or more kills. And that's the key. They're going to go ahead and ban a Maraud, targeting Flowery again. Go ahead and take the Superman off. And so far, the drafts are looking pretty good. I like One Trick, though. They're target banning away a power pick of Upsla because Flowery has such an amazing Maraud. I just wish you guys could see it, but unfortunately, it's going to be banned away, which is a respect to him.
A respect indeed, as you have Maraud, Wonder Woman, Superman, and wondering what the second ban for Upsla is going to be. Remember, we're going to say it, and we're going to say it again. One Trick needs to secure themselves this win to find themselves having any opportunity to get into the regional finals and that top 4 slot. Liliana being the next ban away. We have plenty of options for the last 2 bans. We've got Zenial, you've got Malik, Omen could potentially even be an option despite the
Omen,
fact that
Roma should be banned, I feel. I mean, they are key parts. And look at it, they're going to take Lubu off the map. They changed their draft a little bit here. That leaves Zenial, Malik as really nice picks that are open. Ryoma could be a ban here because I think One Trick will probably first pick actually Teamy. Teamy is going to be open. So let's see if they're going to ban a side laner or they're going to leave Teamy open and give Teamy over to One Trick because he's such a good support. Instead, they're going to take Zeno off the map and now Teamy is open. So are they going to prize Roma here, Teamy here, or oh, they're going to take Malik instead, which leaves Teamy open for Upsla. They can take Teamy Tulin, and that will be a very, very solid pickup draft for Upsla. So let's see if they're going to realize that Teamy's open and take him.
Oh, they're not. It's going to be the Tulin, which was priority in game number 1, as well as that Ryoma. So that leaves Teamy open on the table. One Trick being able to quickly.
Yeah, Omen is open, Teamy is open, so Omen, Teamy look like
I wouldn't be surprised
a pretty
to
good
see
pick. They're going to get Max here and probably pick up the Teamy here because if they don't pick Teamy, the thing about Max is Omen's open. So if they take Max, Omen can be picked on the side to counter him, but teams can work around that. They can switch lanes and have the Max not face the Omen, and that we go. Omen's going to be picked up here, and I feel like they need to secure like a nice another jungler that can die. Maybe Zephyrs. Let's put Flower and Zephyrs. Oh, but wow, they're going to go straight for such a strong early in competition against One Trick here.
Ormar as well as Omen gets picked up for Upsla. Teamy, as we mentioned, in the Max being picked up in round 2. Now the Flash becomes a hover here for One Trick, as it looks like they need to find themselves a jungler as well. Lindis and Yanni are being picked up here by One Trick. A solid effort by them. Now, we haven't seen as much Lindis today thus far as what we've been hoping to see. Lindis, I know, is someone that you've said in a lot of instances is a rising force in that jungle.
Yeah, she is. She can rotate jungle so fast with her speed. And Zephyrs, I really like this. So they have to win early game because, again, L'Oreal late game is going to destroy that composition in the late game. That's 4 melee heroes that want to pile on top of each other, and L'Oreal is going to shine. So in these team fights, if they get to late game, they have to kill L'Oreal first. Otherwise, she's going to do too much damage as the mage because she counters her competition late game. But if they can snowball early game, deny jungle, shut it down, then Upsla looks really good.
Well, we took a look at our list apart from execution to the early game. In this specific instance, we have hero select and composition / win conditions in sort of the same realm. Who are you looking that came out ahead here in this pick?
I think Upsla has such a strong early game. They need to execute. And I like the Zephyrs on Flowery. Flowery Zephyrs is something that you need to not underestimate. He plays it very proficiently and aggressively. So I'd love to see if he goes in and plays aggressively, Team Upsla needs to be right behind them. Otherwise, it's not going to work. But you have a lot of CC. Omar stun, Omen Death Embrace, Ryoma stun. You have Zephy's Death from above. That's a lot of combos that they can do to really secure these kills against One Trick.
Well, we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The picks have been decided for game number 2. This is going to be quite the interesting match as Upsla has to secure themselves a Game 2 win to send it to game number 3. One Trick needing the Game 2 victory to send their playoff chances and keep them alive. Don't forget to tweet at us with the hashtag Valor Series, checking up all the action, all the excitement at all times. But with that, as you can see, they're loaded onto the battlefield, and it's time for game number 2 of Valor Series North America, quarterfinal number 2, One Trick versus Upsla.
Yeah, Upsla needs to make sure they invade here. They have Ryoma, so they need to try to deny jungle because they're so much stronger than One Trick. But look at One Trick's defensive posturing there. Really good job there. L'Oreal's going to help clean the way, but as a result, Tulane is going to get level 2 first, and this is where they need to be aggressive here. They need to get an always green, but instead, they're not going to play aggressive, and they need to. Hopefully the next rotation, Upsla is going to make some plays in jungle, because if they allow One Trick to just farm up, it's going to be a really much tougher game for them because Omar needs to win early game. Literally, that's the only reason why you pick him.
Patience is not the name of the game for Upsla. They are traveling in a pack, and they need to make sure that they strike because if not, One Trick scaling, as you mentioned, is going to put them in a much better position as we get to the later stages of this game. Zaxia and Always Green find themselves in a little bit of a back and forth, but all the meanwhile, no one's going to go down. Bruticus will get collapsed upon on the bottom side of the map, but thankfully, he has the power of his tower to help him defend a little bit longer. A minute and a half now. You have a little bit of an invade coming out here. Flowery tries to go in onto dual spirals. It's not going to be enough. They're going to be forced to disengage, and yet again, another unsuccessful attempt at being aggressive.
Yeah, they got to play a little more sneaky. Come from the bush, you know. Ryoma, when his stun, his Willing Blade stun comes out of nowhere from the bush, it is devastating. Allows for really, really nice ganks, and we saw that happen in EU. We saw that happen with Allegiance when they have Ryoma. So they gotta be able to maximize his early game along with Omar. That's a double stun. That's huge in early game. So they need to be very, very strategic with how they play this.
2 minutes into the game, which means that Abyssal Dragon, the one everyone loves to capture in the earlier stages of these games, will find himself the target. But in the meanwhile, actually, I stand corrected because Zelf will be the first blood being taken. Always Green is going to fall as well. That's a double kill coming onto Flowery. Dual Spiral is being forced now to flicker over the wall, but Zaxia is going to follow him. Just enough of a stun to keep himself back, and he got picked up that kill. So that's a 3-for-0 trade in favor of Upsla.
Yeah, that was such a huge rotation. Look at Omen losing against a Max, which is very interesting, but that rotation in that combo, that's exactly how Upsla needs to play. Omar went in there, got a 2-man stun. Ryoma then got a huge value because they were bunched up, got so much value from his auto attack, hitting multiple people and then landing a huge multiple party Wailing Blade hit as well. That resulted in them decisively winning that trade, and now look at that. They're well over 1K gold lead, and they need to keep this up and continue to starve out One Trick.
Upsla secures themselves a Abyssal Dragon as well as 3 kills to boot. Great effort for them in the first 3 minutes of the game. You said they needed to be aggressive, Sui J, and that's exactly what's happening right now, as it looks like Upsla have secured themselves a 1,000 gold lead, an amicable place to be at just over the 3-minute mark. And so now One Trick having to stop the bleeding a little bit. It's not quite yet a mortal wound. It is but a flesh wound, something that they can easily recover from, but it's going to take patience as well as a denial of Upsla resources, as now we see 3 members on the top side add in Verche to the top, and that's going to be 4. They're going to force Fair to back away. Always Green unable to help as well, and that's going to be tower number 1 in favor of Upsla.
Yeah, what a nice job there. And I like that, you know, I thought Flower was going to play Zephyrs, but he's on this Ryoma. He's doing a really good job. He's waiting for his team. And that's exactly how you want to play Ryoma. And look at this engage here. They have to back up, but Always Green is kind of out of position here. He's got to be very careful. Zephyrs can rotate onto him and land a stun and get a huge, huge pick here.
That's going to be a little bit of a knock-up. Bia Bro's going to have to be forced to come through, but I don't even think actually he had enough to be able to pop that off, as now the kills are going to be coming through. An ultimate coming out of Bruticus to try to help out the fray. Zaxi is going to get healed up, but is it going to be enough to defend? No. Dual Spirals will end up picking up that kill. Zelf in the meanwhile is auto attack. After auto attack, the stun's going to happen, but it's not going to matter, as you're going to have Flowery fall in the meanwhile. God is the next on the list, as Dual Spirals, Bruticus, and Zelf are coming into the backline. Double kill for the Lindis. So just like that, it was an effort by Upsla, but One Trick strikes back.
That was such a misplay there. Really nice ultimate from Dual Spirals there. L'Oreal doing so much damage, turn up her smite, and you can see why she is so good in this competition. She has so much AoE damage. However, Zephy's landed his Death from Above onto Teamy and got the kill on Always Green, but he missed it following up with the L'Oreal. I felt like he should have gone up and tried to save Flowery instead. But Flowery gets deleted by Lindis, and as a result, the fight is lost because of this split focus. If you're playing a dive comp, you need to dive the same target. You need to protect the same target. So if Upsla continues to make these mistakes, it's going to be a really hard game for him to come back. Because right now, they just handed the lead over to One Trick.
Valor is going to get himself caught up by 3 members of Upsla. Dual Spirals is going to try to help, but he's going to go, you know what? Nope, I don't want any part of this. And he's going to end up walking away, as the Max will end up falling. Now a 4-5 lead, or for a 4-5 advantage for Upsla. So Verche, meanwhile, One Trick allows him to take this tower uncontested. He flickers over the wall. They're not going to be able to chase, and so One Trick getting caught with their pants down and a tower taken on the top side.
Yeah, 2 towers taking. What a beautiful rotation from Upsla. Verse did so well on Omen there. He used Death's Embrace to lock down Vair, kill the Max, rotated and took the tier 2 top tower, and then his team rotated to take mid tower. This is looking really solid for Upsla right now. They need to keep up this pressure, and it's he misses his Death from Above. That's really, really bad for Zephy's here, and then he's gonna fall and lose. And that's something you cannot do. I talked about this for both teams. You cannot miss your skill shots, because that's a win condition for you to win.
And so now a team fight breaks out. Dual Spirals is trying to bob and weave in the fight. A double kill happens for Zelf. Gold going into the hands of the Lindis is everything that One Trick wants. Dual Spirals being able to pick gold into his pocket as well. Andy God will find himself very low. The Pooty Pooch is going to get the stun. A big boop and a dead is going to result. Andy God goes down.
Yeah, that was such a nice fight back and forth there. However, the key was, hey, God missed his ultimate. So you need to all go in, but instead he got knocked out first. L'Oreal had her ultimate up. Why are you fighting L'Oreal with her ultimate up? If Dual Spirals uses the ultimate, you need to back off, because if you don't CC the L'Oreal and kill her immediately, she's going to do so much damage against your team. So they need to understand what their win condition is. And as a result, because God missed his ultimate, they just back off. Don't bleed, don't give an advantage further, because if you follow up a lost cause, you're going to cause more lost causes, and it's going to work against your advantage.
2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 lefts do make it right, if you think about it that logic. However, those wrongs are not turning into rights, unfortunately, for Upsla, if they have found themselves in a rough situation. 1,000 gold lead, though, is only the deficit that they have to climb. That will get increased quite a bit as Abyssal Dragon goes down into their favor. Nope, I stand corrected. It's going to be still roughly at about that 3,000 mark. 7.5 minutes into this game. 3 towers are in favor of Upsla as Vair gets caught out yet again. It is the series of catch-outs. Both One Trick now and Upsla have been finding themselves out alone with no one to help.
Yeah, Omen again, Verse doing such a good job carrying his team here. That Omen ultimate locked down the Max, couldn't run away, nice rotation. However, they need to take Darkslayer. They need to do something here. I don't know why they're waiting in that bush, because they have the advantage.
It's a wait.
However,
it's only 8
out.
minutes in the game. I don't know if they're going to be able to do this. They're going to try to see if they can get something. A stun comes out for Flowery, but it's not going to be enough, because Bruticus was the only one that had an ultimate when Bruticus has ended up being whiffed, as the members of Upsla were able to dodge that out efficiently. Now the fight is split completely across the map. You've got 3 members of Upsla on the other side. Zelf ends up getting revived by the Being a Bro, and so now One Trick's turn to strike back. Bruticus is on the back line. God is being forced to walk away. Zaxi is trying to get himself some sort of maneuvering, but it's not going to matter as Zelf ends up picking up that kill. The health bars of Upsla are very low. They're going to have to be forced to disengage, and so what started as a surprise attack was countered immediately by One Trick, and a kill goes in their pockets.
Yeah, that was very... I don't know who they were focusing there. I don't know what happened in that fight, but we almost started with the Willing Blade stun. Got 2 stuns, but Zephy's, where are you? Where is your Death from Above? Zyda, where is your Omar coming in there, getting another stun? What are you guys doing? Combo your stun, work together, focus the L'Oreal. Because L'Oreal did not die that fight, they split their focus and lost the team fight. And now as a result, One Trick gets the Dark Slayer, and it's not looking good for Upsla.
One Trick secures Dark Slayer, as you mentioned, increasing their gold lead to almost 2,000 now. While they've only secured themselves one tower, that is bound to change, as the Dark Slayer buff will allow them to push these towers all the easier, making life all the better for One Trick, as they are just one game away, Sweej, from securing a spot in the semifinals, but more importantly, keeping their playoff hopes alive.
Yeah, this is coming to late game, and they are winning now, and this is not what Upsla wanted. Really good job from Team One Trick here, doing what they had to do. And look at the engage there. He's going to jump onto the Omen instead. That's very interesting. But Zeisha's going to get caught out. He's going to fall right there. Look at Andy got the damage and burst coming down.
Zelf is 7-1-2 at the 10-minute mark. That is 100% kill participation. If you're any time in a situation where the gold needs to be pumped into the most important members, Zelf was the target for One Trick, and they have done just that. He has 7,500 gold, eclipsing almost 2,000 gold above every other member of Upsla's roster. And so now One Trick, with the Dark Slayer buff that they still have at their disposal, take not one, take not two, but 3 towers in the mid lane, securing a high ground tower. No kills have gone down quite yet. Always Green finds himself low. He will end up falling, however, being a bro not being available. He is a solo man himself, as the rest of his team will back off, but 3 towers in the hands of One Trick.
Yeah, that was huge for them. What a nice push there. However, they are able to get, Upsla are able to get 2 kills, but One Trick playing really well, playing aggressive. Really nice Malik ultimate from Budicus there. He's able to zone out the team for him to secure that tower. And now they're going to rotate and get the dragon here. Even though they had 2 deaths, they're going to get the dragon, but they're going to catch out dual spirals and secure the kill. Now this is Upsla's chance to get back in the game, push the lane, get some jungle farm, and get back into the lane and decrease their gold deficit.
Another member of Upsla ends up catching out another member of One Trick. This is a consistent trend that we have unfortunately seen in both of these games thus far here for the Valor series, something that they're going to have to fix up if they want a chance to win into the semifinals. Zelf, the one member of One Trick that did not need to go down, ends up falling before the fight even begins. Now you're seeing the kite back out of Upsla. It is a massive form of chaos in the middle of this team fight. There's nothing that either one of these teams can do. The health bars rock low, but it is Valor that ends up going down. All 5 members of Upsla are left alive.
Yeah, that was a good fight for One Trick, because L'Oreal was not in that fight. If L'Oreal was in that fight, One Trick would have decisively won that. And look at the damage, and they're bunching up. Malik is just getting so much value from his cleaves. He does true damage to the enemy team. So Upsla, they gotta be very careful. Again, they need to combo. They have so many stuns in their kit. Zephy's death from above. Omar has a stun. He can proc actually 2 stuns with his passive and his ability there. And then Flowery has a Willing Blade stun. So I feel like if they don't combo, there's no way I see Upsla winning here, because One Trick is doing such a good job. Counter-engaging, capitalizing on the mistake of Team Upsla.
But they have to keep their positioning in order. Both Dual Spirals and Zelf have found themselves caught out in unfortunate situations. And if there is any member on the entirety of One Trick, 2 rather, that do not need to get caught out, it is both of those heroes. Always Green. Teamy is a fantastic hero. Teamy has been a priority pick ban throughout both Europe and North America every single week. But at the end of the day, you can only be a bro to one person. And Always Green does not want to have to waste that on someone getting caught out. Wants that for the higher priority in these team fights, as 2,000 gold separate these 2 teams. One Trick with the lead, 13 minutes. And it looks like the vision is going to be acquired. Bear is going to get stunned up, but now the scuffle on the bottom side of the map happens. Always Green is trying to come to do his best to help the team. Bear, though, ends up picking the kill onto Zaxia. Andy God finds himself at 25% HP. God will end up getting swiped away very quickly from the side of One Trick. And so just like that, a double kill for Bear. 2 members have fallen. Valor finds himself in a rough spot. It's not going to be enough to get the kill. And as I stand that, he just decides to come back. Verche is lurking on the outside. Here comes Zelf to join the fray, though. It's all the damage of their carry that is helping out these members. 1, 2, no, death. Flowery goes down. Zest will be able to pick up that kill. And the speed up comes out from Zelf to try to help themselves out. Andy God, unfortunately, isn't going to go down quite yet. Will successfully be able to jump away, but 3 members have been lost for Upsla.
Yeah, even though Upsla's getting the engage, they're losing these fights so badly. And it's because One Trick, again, Omar is being focused and getting blown up. And look at he has war boots, attack speed, and I felt like she should have built a lot more tanky. He doesn't have that much magic defense, and as a result, L'Oreal is doing so much damage against him, and the ability damage that he's getting is resulting in Omar just disappearing from the fights too fast. And also, he's level 12, so I feel like, again, they need to combo these abilities and CC, because they're not able to delete someone. Right, if they cannot delete a team of Untrick right off the bat, they're going to lose every single fight. And right now, the team fighting has been really, really rough for Upsla.
Not much else that Upsla can do right now as One Trick has continued their assault. Tier 2 in the bot lane of the map. Remember, super minions are still coming down on the middle, so they're always going to have somebody to clear. Verche is nowhere near the team. He needs to be here for the defense because the high ground towers are going down on the bottom side of the map. You're having some sort of defense, but it's not going to be enough. God goes down. Zaxia goes down. There's no one left available for the defense. Is here for Upsla. They're pushing in to try to get something off. There aren't minions left available just yet. Always Green will find himself in a rough spot. This is the side of One Trick going a little bit too overzealous. Not exactly where they want to be just yet. Verche will end up using the pull to try to get the kill. He does indeed do that. Bruticus is going to walk away safely, that they get themselves the high ground tower.
Yeah, what a nice, always Green there. What a great teamy ultimate there. He brought back to life Zelf when Zephy's God was able to get onto Zelf. Nice ultimate there, deleting Zelf right off the mat. However, it was too much AoE damage. Again, even though they were able to kill Zelf, Teamy revived her immediately. And this is why Teamy does not make it through the ban. What a great play by One Trick there, being able to win that engage and then turn it around. But now Upsla taking Darkslayer. This is their chance. If they can win and take Darkslayer and get a team fight and win, this is going to be huge for Upsla.
Oh, it's going to be a close one, but Bruticus ends up getting the Darkslayer. The ultimate comes down, and it's Malik that saves the day. You said it was going to be the tide turner, but it doesn't matter because One Trick pulls out their special trick in the book, and that's the ultimate coming out of Bruticus. The fights are coming down across the map. The health bars are low, but more importantly, the death bars are what's next. 3 members have fallen. Andy God is down to a very low HP. Flowery is being forced to run away as well. And so now with the Darkslayer buff in the fans of One Trick, as well as the minions coming down in both the mid and the bottom lane, there's no one left to defend, and it looks like they're going to walk away with the game. Everything fell apart for Upsla. It was the last-ditch effort for the Darkslayer, but lo and behold, Bruticus is the king of the gladiators, and One Trick moves on.